know I'm about to go in. Told me that I couldn't do it, but I gotta bring it back, so they're really not with it. Let's go. Tell me where you're from, where you stay. Know I keep it lit from the coast to the bay. Peace on the right.
If you guys are sick of wasting money on packs, go check out my sponsor. They offer the cheapest and most reliable way to buy coins straight from the source. Use code MAZE at checkout for 15% off your entire order. Hello! As you guys can see, we changed the setup a little bit. I'm standing now. I got more space. If I want to take a step back, I can take a step back. If I want to punch Fabio, I can punch Fabio. You know, that's what we do now. This is the world we live in. But welcome back to the channel, everybody. In today's video, we are bringing the Weekend League recaps back. I know it's been a couple weeks since I did a full one, but we're doing a full one this weekend, so episode 1 starts today. And if you guys are new to the series, what episode 1 consists of is games 1 through 10 of my Weekend League, condensed to just the highlights. Episode 2 will be games 11 through 18, and episode 3 will be games 19 to 25, as well as my rewards. So expect those today, tomorrow, and the next day. We're getting them all out there. Weekend League recaps are back. But as always, before we get into the video, we're going to go over the best and the worst comment of the day. The best comment of the day comes from Vaughn Barba, who said, I just realized, Maze, you could get the new bar for this cover 3 defense you're running, put him at left end, and then I put him in a zone. And this is the best comment because that's actually a really good idea. And I actually started doing that where instead of having my edge rushers, I would sub in Sam Mills and Patrick Willis at my end positions, and I put them in zones. So that was a very good suggestion, Vaughn. I appreciate that. Kudos to you, man. And the worst comment of the day comes from MXG, who said, all I want for Christmas is Maze big nickel over me. And that was funny, but also just god-awful at the same time. But all I gotta say is, man, drop the Addy. I'll make sure you have a very Merry Christmas, if you know what I mean. Taking a look at the team before we hop into the games, we've made quite a few upgrades here, namely the offensive line. If you look, we've got all the best players from left tackle to right tackle and everything in between. I don't know what that means, but my offensive line is very fucking expensive. It costs a lot of coins. On defense, Ronnie Lott, 96 overall, still in the Patriots offense and the 4-6 defense heading into game 1. And we get matched up with none other than Poo-Poo 97. Poo-Poo 97, despite having a very terrible team, is actually an MCS belt winner. So I'm expecting this to be a very good game against Poo-Poo 97. Starting off the game with a laser to the sideline. Darren Waller on the corner route, following it up to the flats. And the flat route this year is the best stop and go. Hashtag for the haters. That one was for you. Reggie Bush getting to the end zone, making it look easy, making Poo-Poo 97 look dumb. On Poo-Poo's first drive, he drops back with his quarterback, throws it to the flats where Jamal Adams intercepts it. And I was being an asshole, and I wanted to celebrate all the way from the opposing 40 all the way to the goal line. And we almost did it. End up having to take off because we got ran down. But then we're going to celebrate a little bit more. And I don't know why. I just felt like doing that. Poo-Poo 97, I'm sorry if you felt disrespected. That was not my intention. But we get a touchdown, extending our lead to 2 touchdowns. And he quit out. Poo-Poo 97, despite being a belt winner, did not have any fight in him at all. Moving on to the next game, 1-0. Going against the Steelers this time, and Dante Culpepper finding an open receiver on the sideline early, getting all the way to the other side of the field, now in striking distance, where Darren Waller's on the crosser, and the user just not fast enough to keep up with that high-speed tight end. Darren Waller's still the best tight end in the game, still very expensive, even though they dropped his redux. I was kind of surprised that his price hasn't really changed a ton. And then on our first defensive drive, DRC coming in from an outside third to intercept a streak from the slot. A little stop-and-go action once again for the haters. Unfortunately, doesn't result in a touchdown, but a turnover is valuable nonetheless. On to our next drive, Dante Culpepper once again looking for an open receiver. And who is it? Once again, it's Darren Waller, best tight end of the game. And even though he's really expensive, I think he's expensive for a reason, and that reason is because he's just a baller. It's just as simple as that. On my opponent's next drive, he throws it deep down the left sideline, but nothing is home. Deion Sanders there with the interception, and Deion really is hit or miss for me. I feel like sometimes he plays amazing, sometimes he plays terribly, but he gets an interception for us there, giving us a ball up 14 already, and Reggie Bush on the inside zone takes it across the goal line to give us a 21-0 lead. This guy really not showing us too much fight here either. 4th down, he throws it to the sideline, and it is swatted away, giving us yet another turnover, and from there, up 21, just got another turnover. Connection repair has been lost. I'm not surprised. Not surprised. 2-0 now, heading into game 3. You guys will see we're kind of steamrolling here early, and that's usually how I start. I feel like when I start playing Madden, my first few games, I'm always on fire. And then once I start getting burnt out and impatient and all the above, I start playing poorly. So hopefully we're going to try to keep the good vibes going as long as possible. 2nd and 8 here. He's running a cover 3. We get the out route to Metcalf, who finds it up the sideline. Big strides, take him across midfield for a large gain. And now in opponent territory, driving back in Reggie Bush in the flats once again into the end zone. You guys are going to see a lot of my highlights come off of throwing to the flats. And even though the flats is like a 0-yard route, usually it's open enough and he catches it in stride enough to where you can make big plays with your stick. Pause. But as you guys can see, we've been kind of dominating on both sides of the ball. We get another interception with Deion Sanders, up 7-0 with the ball again in the second quarter. My opponent has had enough and decided to quit out, setting our record to 3-0. They've been 3 stomp fests, and there are way too many S's in that word to be able to pronounce it comfortably. Heading into our next game, looking to extend our record to 4-0. Starting off the ball on offense, I don't really like that. We end up finding Stephon Diggs on the backside in, who takes it up for a gain of about 15. That's always nice because the in route itself is like 3 or 4 yards, but it always ends up being a gain of like 15, 20 yards. So I love that backside in route on level sail. We followed up with an out route to Darren Waller, who takes it inside the 10. From there, we throw a little hitch route in Stephon Diggs, once again fighting his ass off. Stephon Diggs and Scary Terry are a combo in the game right now that they're so fun to play with. And unfortunately, we play some really, really bad defense. And at the time, I was like, yo, my opponent's got this crazy cover 3 beater. I was in like a cover 3 shell, and he just dotted me. So I was like, I gave this guy way too much credit, because you're going to find out later exactly what I'm talking about. But then back on our offensive drive, on the offensive side of the ball, we hit that in route again to get us across midfield. And then from there, find Darren Waller late on the angle route, and he ends up getting into the end zone. And that was a little bit of a broken play, kind of stopped running. But you guys are going to see the same thing. I'm running the same type of defense, and once again, this time the guy's wide open, like way too open. So I'm like, yo, that was not a cover 3 beater. I just forgot to put an inside third or outside third both times. He tries to throw it once again, but fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, I'm gonna get an interception, bitch. Now back on the offensive side of the ball, up 7 points. We find Darren Waller once again, and that is going to be a theme here, guys. You guys are noticing I throw to my tight end a ton, and Darren Waller is really good at beating me in coverage. Followed up with a screen to Stephon Diggs, and look at the fight, man. Look at the fight. That's exactly what I'm talking about. He just shugs off a tackle, then he gets hit by like 3 other dudes, reaches across the goal line. So Stephon Diggs playing out of his mind. Then back on the defensive side of the ball, he's rolling out here with Culpepper. His Culpepper looks slow, and he throws it right to DRC, who was playing inside at the numbers, and he was in a flat. So that was a little weird, and something you guys are going to notice if you've been playing lately is that flat routes have been playing a little bit too far from the sideline. And I meant flat zones, not flat routes, but I think you guys got the picture. Let me know what you guys think about that if you have noticed that as well as we head into our next game. This one started off a little rough. We had Darren Waller wide open on the crosser. It looked like an accurate pass, but it said, I clicked X for secure catch, but it just went over his head for an interception. Very frustrating. We end up playing really good defense, though. Get him in a 4th and long. He's out of field goal range, so he's got to go for it. We send the blitz, and we get the turnover back. So now we are back on offense. Hopefully not going to make the same mistake again. This time, we find Vernon Davis on the sideline on the corner route. Going to get a pretty big gain for us now in opponent territory, and it is our man, our favorite target, Darren Waller, number 83. And you know what? It's great that Darren Waller is really good, because as a Raiders fan, I love Darren Waller in real life. So it's even better that he's probably my favorite player in Madden right now. We followed up with an interception with Taylor Mays, a user lurk all the way back for another 7 points. Now up 14-0. So despite the rough start, we have bounced back, and he ends up throwing a deep post, which was a really good read by him. That was a really good throw. For some reason, the ball just hung in the air for too long. If he would have lowballed it or something, it might have been better. And you saw my opponent's trying to user rush. He was user rushing out of this blitz that he was running, and that told me that this guy actually kind of knows what he's doing, because user rushing is a little bit of the meta right now. And so I know we might have our work cut out for us. He missed a lot of reads on that play, though. I saw a couple open receivers. He did not get the ball to them, except on 4th down. He hangs in the pocket, shows a lot of poise, and delivers a pass downfield to convert and move the chains. Then a little bit of a lurky poo by me. Little bit of a lurky poo by me. Little bit of a lurky poo by me. You know what I'm saying? That's how we do it, bitch. 5-0, moving into the next game. And like I said, these have been stomp fests. And another stomp fest. He was so scared, I thought I got the DCL. But I could just tell he was shaking in his boots just by my name in the top right. And he quit out, or maybe got the disconnect. I don't know. But our record is now 6-0. A pretty hot start going into game 7. And this one this is a story, okay? This one's a freaking story. This guy's starting off on offense, has a pretty nice drive going, gets a nice playmaker pass, And I kind of recognize his name. I was like, who is this guy? I kind of recognize this guy. And someone in the chat's like, oh yeah, this guy's top 100 every week. Let me check his record. He's 17-0 right now. He's in the top 100. And I'm like, holy fuck. So I'm shaking in my boots. We get the interception, though, in the goal line. And now I got to play lights out on offense. You know, I'm expecting this guy's just a star, a stud. We get Darren Waller on the crosser. We're moving the ball pretty easily. And I'm just going to tell you guys now, this guy was not 17-0. This guy was not the stud I thought he was. Someone else checked later. And the guy in the chat was lying to me, which honestly was a good troll. But it got me fucking scared. And I was playing like I was scared. Because right there, that was not a good read. He was not open. And I end up throwing a interception. We miss a tackle. He cuts inside. And he's off to the races. So just like that, despite us playing very, very well through quarter one, we end the drive with a pick six. So nothing really matters up until this point. Look at, I thought I usered this pretty well with the O-lineman. Unfortunately, Marlon Humphrey able to break the tackle and take it for 6. So now we're in a little bit of a different spot. We were up, had an advantage. Now we're down 7. Thankfully, we do get the ball at half, but I'm going to have to play pretty well after this. That was a terrible read by me. I don't run that formation very often. I thought the post was going to continue all the way across the field, but he stopped right as I went to throw it, and I end up throwing an interception. So another error on my end, and that should have been an interception right there. You know, because when I make an error, I get punished. So when he makes an error, I expect the same type of punishment. Now, this is indicative of where my head was at because there's 5 seconds left in the half. I make the worst, most blind read of all time. That is now my second pick six of the game. And as you guys can see, I'm really just blowing it here. And we end up coming out in the second half. We get the ball, so we're really going to need to lock up and play better because I'm down 14-0 and all 14 points are on bullshit. We followed up, though. We are playing well. Darren Waller on the crosser into the end zone. Quick 7 points. We still got 2:25 left in the third. We're still very much alive in this game. Only down 7. Let's get a stop. Except, what is that shit? He's got Scary Terry of his own, very fast. Gets in the open space and up the sideline for a quick 7 points right back. But that, okay. I put Deion Sanders in a deep half like 3 times on that play. And unfortunately, because of the lag with adjustments lately, that's another issue since the patch. Adjustments sometimes just aren't picking up when you're making them. So despite me putting him in a deep half like 3 or 4 times, it just didn't register and we gave him a quick touchdown. Then I followed up with an interception. Then we end up getting a stop. And we're right back in business. So down 14, we get a nice pass to Scary Terry. Takes up the sideline across midfield. Now with 2:25 in the game, we are in business to potentially score. We get Darren Waller once again in the end zone. He's just a touchdown machine for me. Brings our deficit to 7 points. So we just need one more stop, and we can do it. I know we can. He's rolling out, still trying to pass the ball. Nothing is really open. I got Aaron Donald downfield. We almost, just not fast enough to stay with the playmaker. We end up knocking it loose. Now 2nd and 10. About 2 minutes left in the game. We're on Aaron Donald again. I kept getting caught on my D tackle, but Aaron Donald thankfully is fast. But he doesn't have any hands because that should have been a lurk. If that was anyone else, that's a lurk. And then we blitz on 3rd down. Even though I'm playing great defense, I decided to blitz on 3rd down, and we missed 45 tackles. And that's game. That play at the end there was game, giving us our first loss to a fucking bum. I don't know if he's actually a bum, but I should have easily stomped that guy through 2 pick sixes and one touchdown given up on some bullshit. So overall, that guy should have had 0 points, I think. I got spooked. I played bad. That's just me needing to get my head right and you know, maybe play better next time. Heading into our next game, though, you got to flush it. You got to wash that away because if you stay focused on the losses, you're just going to continue losing. So moving on to the next game, you saw we got an interception on our first defensive drive. We got a touchdown on our first offensive drive, starting off 7-0, and then we get a fumble to follow it up. Aaron Donald at D tackle picking that up, and his fat ol' ass paws going all the way to the end zone, making it 14-0. I accidentally ran a fake with Rich Gannon. I did not know I chose that play, but it worked. So now 15-0. So even though we lost that last game in a heartbreaking fashion, we are coming out swinging in the next one. 15-0 lead to start, and he's just throwing prayers up. Not going to cut it today, buddy. Troy Polamalu coming up with another interception. And at this point, you know, you're already up 15-0. I get ball at half, get another interception, turnover. This guy had enough. He quit. Attention, connection, your peer has been lost. 7-1 now. We got 2 more games remaining in this episode. Going into the next game, my opponent's got Julio Jones, Stephon Diggs, and Dante Culpepper. So a very similar team to me. And honestly, when I see their team being pretty comparable with mine, I usually expect it to be a hell game. So this game is going to be a hell game, I promise you. He's the Patriots, I'm the Raiders. A tale as old as time. And we play some really, really good defense on our first drive. We get him to go for 3. We held him to 3 there on his first drive, and now if I can go down and get 7, we're starting off the game hot. We got a couple crossers on the field. Darren Waller is the one that I find my favorite target, taking it for a very long touchdown. I actually can't see the yardage. All I know is it was long, it was hard, and I don't think we're talking about the touchdown anymore. Following it up, my opponent takes a shot of his own. Tracy Porter, you short motherfucker. A little bit too short to get there. My opponent gets a very long cover 3 beater that looked like it got in there by a matter of inches. So we're down again. We're down 3 once again. Still in the first half, but we're going to need to get this offense coming alive. We have been driving pretty well, but we make a crucial mistake there. Right as we're about midfield, I thought DK Metcalf was going to come underneath Sam Mills, but Sam Mills ended up stepping up and getting the interception. And then my opponent, with a nice dot there, splits my cover 2. I got to give him credit on that one. That was a very good read. Gets in for another quick touchdown. So now we are down 2 possessions. 42 seconds left in the half, down 10 points. Got to get at least 3 on this drive before we go into halftime. I am getting the ball at half, so that is a positive, but you never want to be down 2 possessions in the first half. What in the hell was that? That is an example of DDA. EA bullshit, maybe not DDA, but I definitely led that to the sideline, yet somehow the pass came in behind him. I don't know how that happens ever. But my opponent follows up with a touchdown, extending his lead to 3 possessions. I'm going to have to score here, get a stop, score here, get a stop, score. I can do it. I can fucking do it. I can fucking do it. So as you guys can tell, the odds are not in our favor. We're going to have to score, get a stop, score, get a stop, score. All in the second half. Starting with the ball, it should be possible, but obviously not likely. We're coming out here. I've never ran that play before in my life. We get very lucky that it results in a touchdown. So we got the first check mark done, which was score. So we scored our first one. Now to get a stop, he throws it up. Deion Sanders does not come down with the interception. I'm not going to get too many bails. I'm not going to get too many breaks like that. So when we do get him, we need to come down with a pick. Follows it up. We blitzed. It was a man blitz. He motioned a guy. My man didn't follow him, so now he's across midfield, and that dropped interception we're really feeling that now. Thankfully, the Madden gods are looking out for us. We get some nice pressure, get the throw out of sack interception, Taylor Mays. So now the first 2 are checked off. We scored, we got to stop, and now we got to score. Somehow that was an interception. I swear to God, the receiver had like 5-10 yards on him, yet Snead is able to catch up to Terry McLaurin with 96 speed. I don't know, man. That felt a little bullshitty to me as well. So now we're in a position where we need to get a stop once again. We get him in a 3rd and long. He throws it over the middle. Should have been a lurk, but his receiver ends up catching it, and he punts it to us. Now with under a minute to go, we're down 10. We throw the same pass. This time, he's not able to catch up to it. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not going to onside. Should I? Fuck it. It's not over. Now, I want to give you guys the live reaction because as you heard, I said I'm not going to onside kick it, and then I ended up saying fuck it. So we almost didn't onside kick it, and now only need 3 points. We're already in field goal range. I try to run the ball to stay in field goal range, but he shoots the gap, kicks us 1 yard out of field goal range. So as you guys can see, I was not able to kick that field goal right there. We call a timeout. Now it's a 4th and 8, and we got to go for it. So a little bit of a shitty situation. But you're going to see we got the dot of a lifetime here. Quick post over the middle. Culpepper with the laser. And we get to the 25-yard line. Now, as time is expiring, I decide to get to the outside and a stop and go for the haters. With only 1 timeout, I even said, I'm just going to run the ball and take my 3. Except on that run play, we end up getting sticky with it and getting into the end zone to solidify our victory. And then we chug some alcohol after in celebration. Yeah, baby. That was beautiful. This one, like I said, for the haters. The stop and go. Haters always talk about my stick, but I got to be honest. My stick is kind of lethal now. 8-1 heading into game 10, the last game of the episode. And we kind of got away with one right there. We got the onside kick, And as much as I complain about EA fucking me over week in and week out, they really handed me one right there, so I am grateful. Thank you, EA gods, for the victory. Heading on to the next game, just like you can't dwell on a loss, you can't dwell on a victory. We got to treat this one like it's fresh, and I think I did not do a good job of that. I played very soft defense the whole way down, and he ends up getting an easy 7 points on his first drive. It's never a good way to start. We're going to have to fire back and get in the end zone just to match what he already did. That's never a good position. You don't want to put that much pressure on your offense. Thankfully, though, my offense came to play. We rose to the occasion. Now back in the defensive side of the ball, I'm reading an article about the Raiders that somebody suggested I read in the chat. And while I was reading this article about the Raiders, my opponent didn't... I mean, I don't know what I expected there. He just called a play and scored, but a little bit of a bummer that my own lack of attention was the reason we gave up another 7 points. So again, that's me taking this too lightly. I should have been more focused in on this guy, and I don't think I would have given up that touchdown right there. So now down 7. We got a minute left in the first half. It's 4th and goal. I decided to go for it for some reason because I'm angry that he scored, and I want to tie it up. And on 4th and goal, I ran an RPO that just didn't work, and we don't get it. So we turn the ball over on downs. Now he's got an opportunity to extend his lead even more, already up 7. And he's driving on us pretty easily, and his time is ending here in the first half. He throws it to Calico, who makes it a high point catch. A really nice catch from Calico. Can't really be too mad. He's like 6'3", 6'4", so that's kind of expected with a big-bodied receiver. But that cost us 3 points in this game. So now, in the second half, we're down 10. So even if we go down and get the maximum points on this drive, we're still going to be down. So that is just an example of being of end-of-half decisions really costing me. I should have taken my 3. It would have been 10-14, and you know, this game would be a lot different than it is right now. On that play right there, we might have thought we should have got a pick. We ended up swatting. It said user swat. I definitely did not press square at all. And my opponent's just got a really good offense. This guy was pretty good. So me playing poorly and making bad decisions is only accentuating the fact that this guy is going to be a tough opponent to beat. So I need to play all lights out for the rest of the game. We got 2:30 left in the game. I'm down 10. It's my ball. I got to score quickly. I'm in the split close. I don't know why I'm in gun split close. That is not a formation I've been running very often lately. So in the crunch time of a game when I'm down, why do I suddenly go to split close? I don't freaking know, guys. These are decisions that I'm even questioning looking back. Like, why the hell was I playing the way I was? But it is what it is. I did have some alcohol as well, so that probably factored into these poor decisions I was making in this game. But now on 3rd down, we need to get a stop here in order to save the game. He runs a play action, and I got caught on D Ford, the slow-ass outside linebacker, and that is going to seal the game. So that brings our final record through our first 10 games to 8-2. Not the best, not the worst. I definitely think I could have went 10-0 if I played a little bit smarter in some of those games. But we do have a lot of games in front of us and a lot of time to fight and make up for it. So if you guys enjoyed the first 10, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Another episode with the next 8 or 9 games will be tomorrow. So be ready for that, boys. I'll be seeing you very soon.